The Leader's Camino, From Exit to Expansion, a pilgrimage through your business, reinventing yourself to thrive. Written and read by Martin Frederik Garbers, 2025. Introduction. On May 4th, 2017, I began my Camino with a cleansing bath in the holy waters of Lourdes. The walk started in the next day in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, the last village in southern France on the Camino Frances. It marked the beginning of a 5-week pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela and then on to Finisterre, once thought to be the end of the world. At first, it seemed like a simple walk, a physical challenge, a pilgrimage along an ancient road that millions have walked before me since the Middle Ages. As the days passed, I realized it was much more than that, a quest to my inner self, reuniting soul and self. The spiritual pilgrimage begins with the feet and ends where the mind and the soul meet. From here, our conscience penetrates the entire universe. A quote found in Hospital del Alma, a private museum in Castelleritz. See also day number 15. The Camino wasn't just a journey through landscapes. It was a mirror reflecting the inner transitions we all go through. As entrepreneurs, as leaders, as human beings searching for something more. I faced exhaustion, uncertainty, and moments of doubt. You will cry at least once, an experienced pilgrim had promised me, and I did, multiple times. Tears of grief, joy, and bliss. I found clarity, insight, and a deeper understanding of what it truly means to reinvent yourself. This book isn't a typical travel story. It's a playful combination of insights from my Camino with business coaching principles drawn from my 8 years of experience coaching entrepreneurs and leaders, guiding them on their personal growth pilgrimage. It's about transformation told through the rhythm of the Camino, the struggles, the lessons, the reflections, and the perspective shifts that come when you step away from everything you thought you knew. The real journey isn't about reaching a destination. It's about the experience of who you become by following the signs of the path at the pace of your natural rhythm. For most of my life, I followed a predefined structure path. I studied mechanical engineering, combined it with business administration, and built a career in corporate finance. I started in a European semiconductor company in Munich as a controller, was promoted through the ranks, and later transitioned to an American semiconductor company. There I led restructurings, managed global business transformations, and handled major operational shifts. Always on duty. At that point, leadership was about performance. Achieving results, meeting expectations, and ensuring the business ran efficiently. I was in the corporate world for almost 18 years, and the longer I stayed, the more it felt off. From the outside, I had everything. A title, travel, financial rewards. But inside, I was quietly breaking. I felt heavy, powerless, and often senseless. The early signs of burnout. Where was I on my life's journey? I felt stuck. My strong discipline and commitment kept me going. Giving up wasn't an option in my belief system. This mindset led me to numb and suppress my emotions with work and extensive business travel. In an attempt to improve my leadership, I joined a men's group focused on family constellation work. It was a slow process, but it opened up space for transformation. Then one day, destiny made the decision for me. During a pizza dinner with the European executive team, the news broke that a competitor had made an offer to buy the company. While others celebrated, I felt a wave of unexpected relief. This might be my chance, I thought. A chance to walk the Camino de Santiago, to finally listening to the whisper I'd ignored for too long. I needed patience. It took another year and a half until the merger and acquisition integration reached a point where I was made redundant. It was my spiritual wake-up call. I had spent years chasing a version of success defined by status and money, with a constant refrain of someday I will, the typical mindset in my environment. That wasn't truly my voice. For the first time, I had asked myself the difficult question, what do I really, truly want from life? Let's walk to find out. That question led me to the Camino de Santiago. What started as a long walk turned into much more. A chance to reflect, strip away layers of expectation, and rediscover my true purpose. On the Camino, I saw my career from a new perspective. Leadership wasn't about strategy and execution. It was about self-awareness, clarity, and aligning my actions with my values. An inside-out alignment. I realized how often I had led, or should I say managed, based on external expectations and validation, rather than from an internal sense of purpose. I never had the courage to say no to many outside requests. My inner pleaser was set to a default yes. The Camino became my reset, a space where I could redefine my life and live it on my terms. Maybe you're holding this book because something inside you is stirring. A quiet dissatisfaction, a longing for clarity, a meaning, or a craving for a slower rhythm. Maybe you're not sure what you want yet, but you know it's not this. If that's the case, you're on the right track. Let me invite you to walk with me. First mountain, second mountain. One of the biggest challenges for leaders facing transition is what in my coaching language I call the first mountain dilemma. We spend years climbing, getting the right education, landing the right jobs, and achieving the right milestones, only to reach the top and feel something is missing. The higher we climb, the harder it becomes to step away. The fear of losing status, financial security, and the identity we've built keeps many people stuck. It can be a lonely place. Some, like me, are pushed off the first mountain by external circumstances seemingly beyond our control. Others feel the discomfort and stay where they are, afraid to take the leap into the unknown, afraid of losing it, whatever it means for you. Real transformation begins when we acknowledge that success isn't about reaching the summit. It's about choosing the right mountain to climb. What is the mountain you really want to choose with purpose? The journey to the second mountain is an inside-out creation. It's a journey of embracing the unknown, the uncomfortable, and the expansive void. Navigating this kind of transition requires a mindset shift that my coach Chris Joseph refers to as the 5 A's. First, awareness. Recognizing that what once worked with may no longer serve us. Then, acceptance. Letting go of the need to control every outcome and embracing the uncertainty of change. Third, aspiration. Stepping into an authentic commitment to explore the unknown with curiosity rather than fear. Too often we cling to what's familiar, shooting second arrows at ourselves, trying to undo the first arrow of what has already changed. Once we start creating from an abundance mindset, real growth happens by taking steps of audacious action. This book is for those who find themselves at the crossroads or in the valley between the first and the second mountain. Whether you've been climbing the wrong mountain or you have been forced to rethink your path, my hope is that through my journey you'll find reassurance that you're not alone. Transformation isn't easy, but it's possible. And often it leads to something far more fulfilling than we ever imagined. You don't have to navigate it in isolation. I studied the conceptual truth from books, listened to the inspirational, experiential truth from fellow pilgrims and teachers, and experienced firsthand the power of transformational truth while walking the path. There's a path forward, and this book is here to help you find yours. It may even serve you in finding a skillful guide for your second mountain journey. The Threshold: Intention and Commitment. Before we take the first steps together, I have a few questions, one of which you could shape your entire journey. What brings you here? What is your intention? Are you ready for the shift? And more importantly, who do you intend to be as you walk this path? You see, this is not just a book. It's a Camino, your personal transformation pilgrimage. Like any true journey, it begins with a choice. You might want to set this book aside if you are just trying, if you are not willing to commit. Are you reading as a spectator, observing from a safe distance, perhaps curious, perhaps skeptical, standing in the ranks, watching a game from afar? Or are you like a player on the bench, sensing there might be more, but not yet ready to step fully in, playing it safe? Or are you ready to embrace the infinite game, dust on your shoes, open to the real work and real transformation of walking all the way? I will share more about the playing-to-play concept later. In pilgrim language, are you only watching from afar, like a tourist passing through on a bus tour, or hopping off at Cruz de Ferro to drop a stone, or arriving in Santiago to film the pilgrims? Or are you walking a day here or there, tasting the path but not fully committing, protecting yourself from the painful experiences? Or are you lacing up your boots with intention, ready to walk the full journey with conviction and openness to be changed? Some readers move through the pages like pilgrims, returning each year and reflecting a few minutes at a time, letting the words settle. Others read it in one long stride, eager to arrive at their version of Santiago. And some choose to walk with a trusted guide, like my clients who choose a guide and later shared their experiences in interviews included in the second part of the book. Each of them committed to walking through their transformation in business and life. Like you, they faced a turning point and chose support, depth, and truth. Whatever your pace, whatever your path, choose it consciously. I invite you to let this book be more than information. Let it be a mirror. Let it be a companion. Let it be your credential, your booklet of collected stamps along the Camino. This might be your moment. There's no single right way to walk the Camino. Everyone walks their own Camino. This book carries stories of courage, surrender, clarity, and reinvention. It offers not a map, but signs, like the yellow arrows along the Camino, to guide you through your transformation. Whether you're walking towards clarity, freedom, purpose, or peace, this is your path to walk. Who will find treasures in this book? I invite you to read this book as a source of inspiration, a guide, or a companion on your journey. It is for pilgrims of the Camino de Santiago, whether you aspire to walk it or are already an experienced pilgrim. You will find reflections from my Camino, along with stories and places that may inspire your path. It's for those in transition, whom I call pathfinders. If you are standing at the edge of change, about to leave behind the old or navigating the uncertainty of what's next, may you find insights in the transformation stories of fellow pilgrims and coaching clients who have walked this path before. It's for leaders and coaches. You may uncover a treasure chest of coaching tools, mindset shifts, and leadership insights to deepen your personal and professional journey. It's for my coaching clients. This book may serve as a way to explore coaching concepts and practice, or reflect on your transformation and discover the next question to ask. Whichever resonates with you, may these pages serve as a mirror or a yellow arrow waymarker for your journey of transformation. Buen Camino. Preparation, the inner commitment. Everything is created twice. Everything is created from intention and commitment. Before something takes form in the physical world, it is first created in the mind, a seed planted long before it breaks through the surface. As Stephen Hardison, the ultimate coach, metaphorically puts it, if you plant pumpkin seeds, you will harvest pumpkins. If you plant acorns, you will grow mighty oaks. The seed from my Camino de Santiago journey was planted years before I ever set foot on the trail. My first encounter with the Camino came through a book, Paulo Coelho's The Pilgrimage. It sparked my curiosity, and soon I found myself diving into other stories, Shirley MacLaine's mystical reflections and the German Harpe Kerkeling's humorous yet profound Ich bin dann mal weg. I also met people who had walked the Camino, like Georg from my men's group, who had completed 4 Caminos. Each of them spoke about their experience with a passion and depth that stirred something within me. The idea, the acorn, took root. When the opportunity finally presented itself, it felt as if a hidden force had been waiting for the moment to emerge. The instant I spoke the words aloud, the abracadabra energy, I create as I speak, in its original word root, was set in motion. It was as if I had released a genie from the bottle. There was no turning back. The journey had already begun, long before my feet touched the path. Still, I had to be patient. The merger and acquisition process I was involved in took longer than expected. In the final months of my corporate role, I began preparing, gathering what I needed both physically and mentally for the walk ahead. Reading about the Camino, I quickly learned how crucial the right footwear would be. Interestingly, it seems to be part of the German collective identity to walk the Camino in sturdy, heavy mountain boots, despite the fact that 99% of the route consists of road, asphalt, and gravel rather than rugged trails. Local Spaniards and Americans, by contrast, often opt for lightweight trail runners, sneakers, or even sandals. If I could go back and give myself advice, I would recommend the lightweight version. Back then, however, I wasn't ready to challenge my cultural beliefs, or what Vishen Lakhiani calls the rules, the bullshit rules. I bought heavy hiking boots. Looking back, the most unreasonable, though ultimately valuable choice was bringing a beautiful paper journal, hardcover, a heavy 600 gram, more than a pound, or 5% of my total 12-kilogram load I carried. Today, whenever I read my notes of reflection, I'm grateful I took the time to write them, because they bring back memories I can now share with you. Lourdes. Washing in holy water. My journey began in Lourdes. From Munich I flew to Toulouse and then took a train to this sacred town, drawn by the traditions of cleansing oneself in holy water before embarking on a pilgrimage. I had read that such a ritual helps wash away the past, offering a fresh beginning for the journey ahead. I spent a night in Lourdes, immersing myself in its atmosphere, taking the sacred bath in the holy water, meditating in the presence of Mary of Lourdes, and offering a prayer for a safe and meaningful pilgrimage. I was blessed, and a deep sense of gratitude overcame me as I sat there in silence. I could have started walking from Lourdes, as one of the Camino routes passes through the town. However, my plan was set. I would begin my journey in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, the traditional starting point of the Camino Frances. Arriving in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in the early afternoon, I chose one of the private hostels. My first stop was the tourist office, where I registered for the pilgrimage statistics and received my credential, the pilgrim's passport. This small document would not only grant me access to inexpensive municipal hostels, but would also serve as a proof of my pilgrimage to receive the Compostela, the certificate at the end. One of the first mindset shifts as a pilgrim is learning to look for the yellow arrows. and scallop shells that mark the way. Small and reassuring signs confirming you are on the right path. Another peculiar aspect of the pilgrimage is collecting stamps. Every church, hostel, bar, and key stopping point along the way offers a unique stamp for your credential, creating a physical record of the places you have passed. It's an ancient form of gamification, a treasure hunt where your stamp becomes a small milestone in the greater journey. To fully step into my new identity as a pilgrim, I added 2 essential items to my gear. First, I attached a scallop shell to my backpack, the unmistakable symbol of the pilgrim on the way of St. James de Santiago de Compostela. Historically, the scallop was collected at the beach of Finisterre at the journey's end as proof of completion and was carried home. Today, it has become a symbol of Camino pilgrims. Second, I picked up something I felt was missing, a long wooden walking stick from a souvenir shop. It soon became an extension of myself, a steady companion through the journey. I realized how attached I had become when, one day, I left it behind a drinking fountain. Without hesitation, I turned back and walked 20 minutes to retrieve it. Some things, once they've become part of your journey, are simply too valuable to leave behind.